Hey guys, I'm here at the EV Charging Summit in Las Vegas, and there is a crazy amount of electric vehicle charging equipment here. I'm going to be walking around the show floor in a little while and checking out the charging equipment. I'll probably stop at a couple of booths to chat with some people, but I'm also going to try to find some interesting things that aren't necessarily charging equipment. I know there's going to be a lot of vendors here selling a lot of stuff, so I'm going to try to seek out some things that maybe I haven't covered before that's related to EV charging, and it's interesting. Of course, I'm going to stop at a couple of booths. I know I want to hit the Kempower booth, talk to those guys, but I really want to try to find a couple other things that maybe I haven't covered on my channel and just that are related to EV charging and are interesting. So I'm going to come back in a little while when this show is open and walk around and totally geek out over this EV charging stuff. All right, so I'm here with Yuri from EVIQO. It's one of the chargers that I named as my top chargers of 2024. Now I'm currently doing my top chargers of 2025, so we don't know if your charger is going to make it in the list yet, but I'll tell you it certainly is in the running. But from what I understand, you're introducing a new charger here at the show, your second generation.
That's right.
So that's the first gen, this is the second gen. They look similar, but why don't you tell me the differences?
Yeah, well, actually, there is a difference, even though like our first gen was the only charger on Amazon with 4.9 rating on the market. We still want to improve our chargers, and we incorporated all the best practices of generation 1 and added a couple of new features to generation 2. Mainly, this is the only charger on the market that has a special protective shielding inside of it, because there is power module, there is relay, and we don't want like unnecessary waves to interfere into the metering, and therefore we protected our MCU inside on the motherboard so nothing bothers. Now there is a new holster, so here's our new holster, and
let me see this. So it's on a swivel.
Yes, right,
yeah, okay.
right. Yeah,
very
it's
good.
Significant improvement to the basic one that we have in Gen 1. Now, our Gen 1 only had a J1772 connector. As you can see, our new version has both NACS and J1772. Good thing for the future for those guys that are buying J1772 for today and they want to switch to NACS in the future. You can just swap the output cable. You don't need to buy a whole new unit because they share the same motherboard with the same terminal inside. Okay. So you just connect the pins of the NACS connector and it works perfectly fine.
So you'll sell them the cable and they'll just update it.
We will be selling output cables.
Okay.
And probably one of the most important things in Gen 2 is this external button. So it is not only the reset button that you can press for like 10 seconds to basically restart, or just to factory settings for 10 seconds, or 1 second just for regular restart. But if you press it 3 times, it makes the device compatible with preconditioning on the car side. So when you have, for example, like a schedule, or you have like charge limit set, and then your car starts preconditioning, the charger will recognize this like additional consumption, and it will automatically try to compensate that
turn
energy
back on.
to turn back on to the charge limit.
Yeah, I know in a lot of EVSC that won't be the case. Once the charging schedule is over, if you precondition the next morning,
and you lose like a percent or 2, and that's basically frustrates some people. And then what is the most important things as well is the improved Wi-Fi antenna inside of it.
Okay.
So it is still 2.4, but with significant improvement in terms of range.
Okay, and these are 48 amp chargers that you can either hardwire or use as a plug-in,
So
correct?
basically, our first gen was a 2-in-1 device. It was preset for 40 amps, but it still had like opportunity to be switched to 48 amps if hardwired. For this Gen 2 device, the plug-in version is 40 amps, and the hardwire version is 48.
Right, and how do you when you buy it, can you buy the plug-in version and then convert it, or do you have to buy the separate unit?
No, you can still convert it from plug-in version to hardwire version. The only reason, the difference, is that for the plug-in version, which is preset for 40 amps, it will still give 40 amps. And if you want a hardwire, if you want a like 48 amps unit, you still want to buy the hardwire unit to get the full
so you
capacity.
can't change like an internal dip switch from
there is a dip switch, but mostly for like security purposes and for safety reasons.
You don't want people to play with that.
Yeah, listen, because we don't actually want the users to open up the device and put the fingers there, because for safety purposes, it's like better to basically make a decision if you want a 40 or 48.
Yeah, you either order the plug-in unit or the hardwire unit.
That's right.
Okay, listen, Yuri, thank you very much. Good luck, and you got to get me out one of your new second-gen units for me to review.
Thank you, we will. Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I just came across an interesting booth here called Cat Strap. Let's talk to David about his unique product.
Hey there.
David, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I kind of know what this is, but I would like you to talk about it. It looks like you have a theft deterrent cable. I did a video recently on what ChargePoint was doing to try to stop people from stealing their cables. I've seen Tesla is coming out with something that's like pressurized that shoots dye in your face.
That's right.
But you've got a solution here also. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the EV Cable Shield. It is a metal hardened steel shield that wraps around the cable. We actually do have what we call the dye defender, and this is the Tesla article that you were referring to. So we installed this on the Tesla station with an exploding blue dye pressurized fuel line that's in there. So if anyone cuts that, it'll puncture and release the dye on that. But the shield itself, there's two types of hardened steel, so it's very difficult to cut. We really are trying to reach that point where it's so frustrating to try to cut this. It's just not worthwhile for these guys to spend their time doing that. So there's two types of hardened steel. No one tool is really effective at cutting both. And so it's a bunch of time and effort to try to get through this, and we really just want to make these guys go away. So that's our goal at the end of the day. We've been rolling this out for the last several months. The pilots have been really successful at keeping the charging cables intact and operating daily. So we're just trying to be a small part in keeping the infrastructure up.
Okay, so what you just said, the pressurized dye system is your system that you are selling to Tesla or letting them test it out?
Yeah, so we went out to Seattle for Tesla and did a pilot project for them.
Okay.
And so yeah, that was our product on the Tesla station out in Seattle.
Very cool. And do you make different versions, or is it always this like kind of mixture of different types of cables?
Yep.
And pressure and a pressurized dye? Is that the system?
Yeah, that is the core system. We do make different dimensions for different size cables. So level 2 and level 3, a few different lengths to accommodate different charger configurations. But yeah, they are all, it's a dual steel core in all of the EV products we do.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, I mean, obviously an angle grinder will get through anything eventually.
Right.
But do you know, like I'm sure you've tested, like how long would it take somebody to get through this with like an angle grinder with a good blade? Yeah.
It's at least 5 minutes of continuous, really hard work with sparks flying in your face. The noise is, ear shattering, and it's an uncomfortable job to try to do. So again, we're trying to make it just so frustrating that it's not worth these guys' while. And even with a great tool like a grinder, it's a lot of work. Yeah.
All right, listen, thank you very much. Good luck with the product. We need solutions to stop the cable theft. It's really plaguing the industry.
Yeah, we're excited to play a part in that. Thank you.
This video was sponsored by Kempower, North America's premier installer of electric vehicle charging equipment. After I've helped you decide which electric vehicle charger you're going to buy, follow the link in the description of my videos and have Kempower install it. And if you follow that link, Kempower will waive the $150 installation deposit. But in order to have the deposit waived, you must follow the link in the description of my videos. Okay, so I'm here with Dan Liddell from Splitvolt. Followers of my channel may have seen I reviewed the Splitvolt a couple of years ago. I almost think it's time for me to do a new review, so maybe we'll get out another unit and I'll do a new review.
We'd love that. We've got tens of thousands of customers across the United States and Canada who enjoy the product, and helping get the word out is so valuable, so we appreciate that.
So I mean, the Splitvolt, the first product you came out with, it's
Splitter switch,
it's a smart splitter switch.
Yeah,
right?
we call it the splitter switch,
so,
and it's got intelligence built into the device.
Yes, talk a little bit about what here it is here.
Yeah.
What do people use this for?
Yeah, so the main use of the Splitvolt splitter switch is to let you automatically and safely share your dryer circuit with your electric vehicle charger. You know, if you buy an electric vehicle, you want to charge your car, you have to wait weeks sometimes, and it can be quite expensive to install a circuit to charge that vehicle. Instead, many homes have a 240 volt dryer circuit already available in their home, and you can use this device and simply plug it in. It takes just a minute. Anybody or their great aunt can plug it in, and they're immediately fast charging their vehicle, and they're doing it automatically and they're doing it safely. So a couple really important considerations are you want to have an internal safety breaker so you don't accidentally overdraw your circuit. This will not let you do that. You will not overdraw your circuit. It will trip and stop if it's pulling too much. The other thing is you want to have a display to see what's happening, so you can look at real time if you're interested. And so you want a robust device that you want to be safety certified as well. I think it's also important to have access to the folks who are building and selling the product. So we think that's important. So it's a US based company, US support and everything. And so that's an important dimension. So it's used for two things: sharing your dryer circuit with your EV charger automatically and safely. The other thing it's used for is if you have two electric vehicles and you have a circuit that you've already had installed, it can instead charge two EVs. It charges one and then automatically charges the other. So the next day, you don't have to remember to swap the charging over. They're both charged fully.
Right, and this plugs into a 30 amp circuit for 24 amp charging, because that's a typical dryer circuit.
That's exactly right.
You plug this in, the dryer goes on this side, and it always gets preference. If
That's
the
right.
dryer's on, it gets power.
Yeah.
But your dryer doesn't run, unless you have 10 kids. Your dryer doesn't have to run for hours and hours. As soon as the dryer shuts off, the EV gets power and you charge your electric vehicle.
You've got it exactly. The point is really, you've got a circuit already in your house that's available. Maybe it gets used 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day with laundry. So it automatically senses when the dryer's running and pauses charging. Whenever the dryer finishes, it automatically resumes charging. And so you don't have to remember or pay attention to it. And your dryer, you just use normally. You just don't have to tell anybody anything, they just use it. So yes, automatic and simple. And then we also have some other products as well.
I was going to say that, this is what you're known for.
Sure.
But I see you have a portable charger here and
That's
also
right.
a wall-mounted charger.
It's very exciting. We have some significant announcements happening today, in fact, and we had another one just last week that's pretty exciting. So we have a mobile charger, and we just got a lot of customer demand for it. So we've now added some adjustable power options, so you can set it to whatever the appropriate power level is, all the way from down to 8 amps, all the way up to 40 amps. And you can also hit the button for delays, so it'll charge during the less expensive time of days. So that mobile chargers, we sell a lot of them. People do like them. They're very well built. And then what we're announcing, we actually announced at the show today, there's a press release that's just gone out talking about we've now moved into the highly robust wall charging station space. And we've offering a product that we're very pleased to announce that supports up to 50 amp charging. It's a smart charger. It's got all of the smart charging features that you would expect. It's fully Wi-Fi, Bluetooth connected. It's got RFID controls, scheduled charging. It also has a lot of intelligence under the covers. It's OCPP 1.6 fully supported. So if you are a commercial application, you could also use it and do very sophisticated things with it, but it works great for residential users. So you install this device, it's a robust platform. It's for indoor, outdoor, it can handle snow and sleet, and it works really well. And we do offer it today. It ships with a NEMA plug on it so that you can, like our other products, plug and play right away. But when you have it installed, then they remove the plug and they set the charging rate all the way up to 50 amps. So that's the high level for that product. Of course, got all the standard certifications that you'd expect. And it's something that we will be offering globally, not just in the US.
Okay, and as far as the OCPP part of it, can you direct it to the software provider of your choice, or are you tethered to the software company that you use?
You can send it anywhere that you'd like, a standard server. And so it gives you, if you were in a commercial setting, for example, and you wanted to do very robust, intelligent management of those systems, remote software updates, resets, reconfigure RFID cards, adjust power, track billing, all of those things are supported in there with any server that you decide to point it to. Okay. So it's a very standard from that perspective. Residential users though, will benefit in a number of ways. There's some simpler configuration options that can be done, and we'll be rolling those out over time. So one of the things that could be done with some of our additional accessories that we'll make available would be a static load balancing. So you could daisy chain multiple devices and tell it that all of those devices must share this certain amount of power, and it will automatically adjust. And then down the road, we're going to be offering an active, dynamic power sharing capability, where with additional device connected to your main circuit, it will monitor and use all of the available power that you have and spread it across those devices automatically and adjust depending on what else is happening in your network, in your home.
Now, the daisy chaining, is that the communication, is that through Wi-Fi or
it's
Bluetooth?
through we do an Ethernet cable.
Ethernet,
so
yeah.
it's standard Ethernet cable. It's very simple, and that's why I was saying there's some other components, like you need a little Ethernet hub and some wiring, and a few things like that, and then the server to point to it. So not difficult from a commercial perspective, but there's certain key elements that are great from the residential side. So,
Okay,
yeah.
listen, thank you very much.
Tom.
I appreciate your time, and good luck with Splitvolt.
Thanks so much, Tom. Appreciate it.
So I'm here with Marcus Savanto. He's the VP of Sales at Kempower. Marcus, tell us a little bit about what do you have going on here, what's on display, and tell us about your products.
Yes. So Kempower is making DC fast chargers for electric vehicles. Our kind of main differentiator in the industry is that we use distributed system. So in practice, what you see behind us is the satellite where the user is charging the vehicle, and that satellite don't have any power in it. So all the power comes from centralized power unit, and then we are able to use the kind of charging satellite that can be really slim and small, so that it doesn't take so much space on the parking areas and stuff like that. It doesn't make any noise and things like that.
Most people would think it was a level 2 charger,
Yes.
a lower powered, because that's the size. It's only slightly bigger than, say,
Exactly.
a charge point level 2 pedestal.
Yes.
Only slightly bigger.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the power distribution. Okay, I have one cabinet.
Yes.
How many chargers can that power, and how much power can each charger get?
Yeah, so one cabinet can be from 200 kilowatt to up to 600 kilowatt. So it depends on how many doors you have in the cabinet. Behind every door is 200 kilowatts, so it can be 1, 2 or 3 door cabinet. Then, let's say we have a 600 kilowatt unit, we can link up to 8 cables, 8 charging cables to that. It can be 4 satellites with dual cable or 8 satellites with single cable.
And the dual cable's new, right? Isn't
Yes.
that a new product that you're introducing here?
Or dual cable is something that we have had, but then we have dual flex satellite, which means that you can only use other charging cable at only one at a time.
Okay.
So basically what that means is that we can have CCS1 and NACS in the same satellite, and then user can use either one of them. So you don't need to use adapters anymore. And if you use one of them, the whole satellite is reserved, and you can still have 7 satellites to be used in the system.
Right, yeah, you can't use both connectors
Exactly,
on the same when
exactly.
it's the flex.
Exactly.
But if it's non-flex, if it's the traditional ones,
Yes.
you can use both.
Yes, you can use both,
Okay.
but then also it reserves like 2 outputs from the power unit. With Flex, it only uses 1.
Right.
So basically, if you have dual satellite, you can use both. But if you have NACS and CCS, and there are 2 vehicles with NACS needed, which need NACS, then you can only use the other one.
Yeah. So how many amps are the cables rated for?
Cables are up to 400 amps at the moment, and we can boost them to 550 amps. So then our software is following how much the pin temperature in the cable is increasing, and when it reaches certain level, we start to derate. That's why we can use this 550 as the amount of time that the pin temperature goes high enough, then we can start derating.
Derating a little
Yeah.
bit, yeah. So I know that you guys have a contract with Revel, right?
Yes.
Don't you provide their chargers? And
Yes.
I think at the airport in New York,
Yes.
that might be the closest one to me. I'm
Yeah.
in northern New Jersey.
Yes.
I have never visited one of your sites yet, but I have
Yes.
to get to one. So
Yeah.
maybe we could arrange something like that, and I come out to the
Definitely.
site and check out the chargers and do
Yes.
a video on site.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, that's really all I have here. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck at the show,
Thank
and
you.
hopefully you'll make a lot of connections here and sell a lot of your units.
Yes, thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it.
All right, so I'm here with Mike Warson. He's the VP of Global Sales here at
eFireX. Did I pronounce that
Yeah,
right?
eFireX. There you
So,
go.
you know, I said I'm going to look for interesting booths here, and this is definitely an interesting booth. Mike, tell me a little bit about what are you guys doing here?
So we're actually here at an EV show because we've actually have one of the few, if only, fire extinguishment agents in the world that will specifically exhaust a lithium-ion battery fire.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you know, we hear a lot about thermal runaway with lithium-ion batteries that they're almost impossible to put out because one module lights on fire, lights another module, and you can't completely extinguish it. It reignites.
Yeah, so that's part of it. It's called the thermal propagation and then thermal runaway. Thermal propagation is the individual battery cells, and what makes these things such bad actors, if you will, is that they have their own fuel and they have their own oxygen. And so that's why a typical fire extinguishment mode doesn't work on them, because you're trying to, normal fire 101 is exhaust oxygen. Well, you can exhaust the oxygen on top, but then the actor underneath says, hey, no problem, I have my own oxygen, and watch what I can do.
So, I mean, how does this work? Like, without giving away trade secrets?
No, there's no trade secret. It's patented, so we can tell you all about it.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, we've chosen a mineral to be able to fight. So fighting fire with fire, we fight a mineral fire with a mineral-based liquid agent.
Okay.
So that's at the core of our patent.
Interesting. So do you have, I mean, are these currently in the hands of firefighters? I have friends that are firefighters, and they always rib me a little bit about, oh, you're the EV guy. You know, they cause us so much problems when we get an EV fire.
Yeah.
Are these actually being used yet?
They are. So we've been in market for a little over a year. We're in about 45 municipalities around the country in the U.S., another 20 in Canada. We call it a Hearts and Minds tour. So you're absolutely accurate. Is more often than not, we've met with fire departments and like, hey, nothing works, and we're like, this does. And oh, by the way, it's 100% natural. There's no chemicals in it whatsoever. And you get the folded arm. And then we actually burn something with them. We have them as a training exercise actually exhaust that burning lithium-ion battery using our product. And I can tell you firsthand, having seen it time and time and time again, you get literally they come up to you and go, I'm a believer.
I might need one of these in my the State of Charge garage, so I'll talk to you about the smaller version.
Okay.
If you ever saw what my garage looked like, you'd say, Tom, yeah, you need one. Yeah. But that's another story. Do you have larger versions for like fire departments, or do they have to jump out of the truck with these?
No. So this, we have a 2 liter, a 6 liter, and a 9 liter. We also sell it in 5 gallon. They call them totes that are intended primarily for fire departments or to refill these. But the fire departments themselves will take those 5 gallon totes and then induct it through the fire engine, use it with a hose, or else they'll put it in their tanks and then spray it directly. But yeah, again, you know, different sizes for different applications. This is a good office type size, and then all the way up to, again, our 9 liter size. You can really, you know, put out a pretty significant fire with just one of these little and a couple.
And the fire won't reignite. Like,
no,
I've seen
again,
these
it's
all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen I've heard stories where the fire department puts it out, it goes in a tow truck, it goes into a yard, and 2 days later, the car goes on fire again. This puts it out?
It not only puts it out, but it encapsulates it. Yeah. So that's part of the secret and the sauce, if you will, is an ability to be able to initially put it out, knock that fire down, but then it mitigates the heat. And that's what causes these batteries to reignite is they don't have anything to keep them cooled off. Yeah. And so a lot of times people are talking about using fire blankets. We're not particularly big fans of fire blankets because of the dangers associated with applying them. And then once you've applied them, you've basically created a bomb underneath. This acts as a liquid blanket. So not only puts out the fire, but then it encapsulates that heat source and then starts to search and act as a retardant for other possible actors to keep them from acting up.
Sounds good to me. I might have to try it out one day. Listen,
sounds great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming by.
Good luck with it. And listen, I hope this proliferates because you know we hear a lot of people talking about, well, they go on fire and then you can't put them out.
Right.
If this is a good solution, maybe that problem will just go away.
Hopefully, we'd like to be part of the solution.
No, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm at Pando Electric here with Joseph, who's the head of strategy. Joseph, what is Pando Electric? I've seen pictures of these. I haven't really talked to you guys yet. You may have sent me an email to if I'm interested in talking to you, but I get a lot of emails. But I am interested. Tell me a little bit about the company. What do you guys do?
Great question. So we make electric vehicle charging outlets that were specifically designed for multifamily facilities like apartments and condos. And one of the really big reasons we went with an outlet over a traditional system is that outlets basically carry no maintenance with them. There's nothing to break or damage or steal on this outlet. So ongoing maintenance costs are basically dropped to zero. The other really amazing thing is that because it's an outlet, we're able to daisy chain them together, and we're able to cut installation costs by about 50 to 70% on average.
Okay, so does the customer bring their own charging equipment?
They do.
Okay, so if you live in an apartment building, you can install a ton of these. The customer just has to plug in their unit.
That's correct.
What stops people from stealing it?
One of the big things that we can do to prevent that is, number one, there's a device that's right behind you. Maybe we can talk about that one later. Okay. Where you can lock the cable to the charging station. Or if you're charging, a lot of the times the cable will actually lock to the vehicle.
Right, the cable does, but most of these chargers have the adapters,
the break point.
The break point, you know what I mean? So I'm just curious. So okay, and now how do these communicate with each other? I'm assuming they do intelligent load balancing.
That's correct. They have adaptive load management. That is the one question that I can't answer of how we're actually able to communicate across all the devices. Okay. They build a localized network on site. Mm-hmm. They're able to communicate amongst themselves. Only one of the stations needs a signal out for all of the stations to have the same signal out.
Okay, but if the signal dies, do these shut off? Or?
No, that's actually the really amazing part about the system. Is very robust. Because it's a localized system, if the Wi-Fi goes out, the system still will continue to work normally, because they're still being able to communicate without any Wi-Fi connectivity whatsoever.
Okay, and is there a limit on how many of these you can install in one
There
location?
is. Typically what we do is we can go up to 10 on a single breaker. We only do that in very power constrained scenarios. More often than not, we look at 4 to 5 per breaker under these units.
Okay, and if I'm a property manager, I own an apartment building, and I'm interested in something like this, how do I find you? Do you sell direct? Do you just go through installers?
Right now, we're all direct. Okay. So you come to pandoelectric.com. You can either call us directly from the website phone number or send us an email.
Okay, listen, thank you very much. I think we're going to maybe follow up and do another video at some point, because I'm really interested in this. I have a lot of my followers reach out to me and say, look, I'm in an apartment complex, a condo complex, a big facility. We need to install a lot of charging, but it's just too expensive. And this seems like will be a much lower cost solution, and
it is,
you know, as long as it works, which we will test out at some point.
I look forward to it.
Last question: how many of these do you currently have out there in the public?
About 1,000 units are out in the wild.
About 1,000. Yeah. Do you have any near me? I'm in northern New Jersey.
We have some in New York City now.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe not super close, but
okay.
We're getting there.
Well, I'm gonna have to make a visit one of these days. Listen,
perfect.
Very interesting product. Good luck with it, Joseph, and thanks for giving me the time here.
No, thank you.
All right. Well, that's it for my EV Charging Summit video. I'm tired. I've been walking all day, and you know, I hope that you appreciated that I didn't just do videos of all the charging equipment. There's tons of equipment here this year. I mean, every year it seems like it doubles on how many different charging equipment vendors there are. And that stuff can be boring, just charger after charger. So I tried to find some interesting booths that offer something other than just charging equipment. Listen, if this is your first time here at State of Charge, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming electric vehicle news and reviews. And as always, thanks for watching.